video, we're going to just talk about the things we found to do in the Sulphur Lake Charles area.
Yep.
I guess the obvious thing in Lake Charles is there's casinos. There's the big... But we didn't go to any of those, so we're not going to talk about those. But you do know that they're there.
Yeah.
Probably if we'd stayed another week, we would have wandered over there. We're not big gamblers. We like to check it out, but...
Yeah, we just didn't have the time or want to do it.
Eric's always working when we're these places, so he doesn't get to go as many places, and that's just not somewhere I would go by myself.
Right. I did have a guy working for me that said he made $2,800 at the Golden Nugget. Woo!
That's pretty good.
He bought me breakfast.
That's impressive.
So I got something out of it.
Very impressive. So one cool thing that we did do, so they have this, they call it the Creole Nature Trail, and there's an app you can put on your phone that you can actually follow all these items on this trail, and it starts at this very cute little museum called Adventure Point that's there in Sulphur, and I went to it on a separate day. Eric didn't go, but very, very nicely done little museum. Kids would love it. A lot of interactive stuff in it, it's very nicely done. So that's like the starting point, and there's other places it tells you can drive through and stuff along the Creole Nature Trail, which leads south of Sulphur down to the coast. But the place that we stopped was at the Sabine National Wildlife Refuge, and it was a walking trail there.
Yeah, it was really cool. It's a nice, really easy walk. It's on a concrete sidewalk the whole way, but it's in a regular wild bayou swamp situation. And we got to see a lot of neat stuff.
It was that was actually one of the best stops we've ever had. I mean, in New Orleans, we went on a swamp tour, but we paid to go in the boat, and we saw some cool things. But this was just us on our own, walking along, and we saw
more than, although you got to know that it was a little later in the season.
Sure. Oh, sure.
It was still a little cold on our swamp tour.
Yeah.
And we saw alligators, and they fed them, but it was really cool just walking along this trail finding alligators on our own. There was about a 6-7 foot mama alligator on the bank, and then you look closer, and then there were all kinds of little baby alligators, from 7 to 10 inches long, all over the place. And she just laid there and was mellow and didn't try to eat us. Although we didn't provoke her.
Yeah, we didn't poke her with a stick.
Yeah, we didn't poke her.
Hey.
See the babies?
No.
Look, all the baby alligators.
Oh my gosh.
There's a zillion of them.
Oh my gosh. So is that the mama? She's going to come get us? Or are they? That is so cool. He still has the stripes like the other little one. Yeah. We saw some snakes, and we saw a nutria. So it was very cool.
Because he's wet. One step too many.
Yeah. I was starting to get afraid. It's like, okay, is he going to run over and bite me?
No. I'm not going to bite you.
He's not very afraid, though.
It's a baby.
Hey. Too close. And then we went on down the road. We kind of didn't know where we were going, but we wanted to get something to eat, and there's not a lot down there, and we went to Cameron.
There was nothing down there,
was nothing.
from
Not a lot.
there to
Nothing.
Cameron.
And there was a ferry that we took across to Cameron, which that was kind of cool. We didn't even know that we were going to run into that.
In the pouring rain.
It was raining, so it wasn't the best circumstances, but we saw dolphin, and we were even told that there's a pink dolphin that's very common to be seen there. So if you had better weather and you stopped along the edge, you might see the pink
Yeah,
one.
we did not see Pinky.
It was not pleasant weather, and so we wanted to get something to eat, and this Cameron little town had just a couple spots. The one we stopped at only had outdoor seating, and this was just not.
And it was cold and rainy, and I mean, it looked like it was really good. I forget the name of the place, but it looked worth eating at.
Yeah, we were going to eat there. Well, so then we went over to this bar. It looked pretty. It's called the Dockside Bar and Grill.
Yep.
It looked pretty divey from the outside.
Yeah.
Well, it was divey inside too, but
But
really
we're not
nice.
scared.
No, and it ended up being a really pleasant stop. Really nice people and good food, and we talked to the bartender gal for a long time, and she was very nice, and it actually was a fun stop. That's sometimes the funnest things. You just wander off, kind of not knowing where you're going to go, and
that's definitely what we were doing.
yeah.
So we were taking the ferry across into who knows.
Yeah,
But
it was cool.
it was fun. So if you're ever there in Carlisle, that
Cameron.
I'm sorry.
Shitty day for these people.
That's someone we knew.
Nah. Yeah, that Dockside Bar and Grill. Don't hesitate to stop in, no matter how it looks, because it's a pretty cool place.
So, and another cool thing in the area, like I said, they had this app for that Creole Nature Trail. They also have an app for touring in Lake Charles, historic Lake Charles. And there's like a 1 hour tour and a shorter one and a haunted tour. And so we weren't going to do that whole thing, but we thought we would drive and see a couple of these houses. And this is kind of funny. So one of them, this was on the haunted tour one. So we found this house and we pulled up, and you can listen on the app. It tells you about this. Was interesting. It had been a prison at one time, and well, the people that lived in the house or whatever were not too happy that we had stopped there. They
kind of gave me the evil eyeball a little bit, kind of wondering what you're doing. And why would I be in front of your house, ding dong? You're on the tour, so I'm just a stinking tourist.
Yeah, it was like they gave us the hard look, and then they sat in their car until we left. It's like, okay, you might not know this, but your house is on the tour in this app.
And it's not that exciting. Peace out.
It was cool.
Well, yeah, it was cool, but it just, you really got the vibe. And I guess people get sick of, you buy this house and
you bought a historic house.
You're on this tour, and so whatever.
That's
all
funny.
right.
I thought it was a little bit funny.
I did too.
And then we went on from that to Crying Eagle Brewery.
Yep.
Which was a fun brewery. And it was.
And they had this little bistro inside, and you would expect this pizza to not be very good.
It was good, yeah.
Yeah, it was very good. We were shocked.
Yeah. And
how good it was.
And I think it was a Sunday we were there, and they had stuff for the kids outside. They had bouncy houses and stuff to do. And that was a nice stop.
Another family-friendly brewery.
Something for everyone.
Yeah.
And then something I did on my own, a couple things I did on my own while Eric was working is I went to Flea Fest. There's lots of different festivals around here. There was a railroad festival, and there's a pirate festival. And
that's one thing in Louisiana. Man, there's a parade or a festival or something going on every stinking day of the weekend. So if you like parades and festivals, Louisiana's the place for you.
So Flea Fest was just a big flea market, and it was fun. I went and wandered around, looked at weird stuff. And then the other interesting thing I did was I went to the Imperial Calcio Museum, if I'm saying that right. It's a little museum over in Lake Charles about the area. It was actually very interesting. It's you end up going into these little museums and talking to the people in there, and they have a lot of interesting history to tell you about. And that one, they even had a book that they gave away about one of their exhibits, about a town called Mossville that had been a slave town, or a town founded by freed slaves and then eventually they were encroached upon and basically abused by the chemical plants in the area. And that was just really very interesting history. And that, for the most part, is all the interesting things we found to do in the area for the weeks we were there.
Yep, for 3 glorious weeks. And yep.
Yeah.
But it was fun. People are great. And we had a good time.
Yeah.
Yep.
Always find some fun things to do. So that's all. Give us a thumbs up and please subscribe. And we will talk to you soon.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.